Predicting that LCIOP will go with a, I believe it was the P.E.K.K.A Goblin Giant Rage deck, a really easy-to-use deck here in game number 1. I'd be surprised to see him be that predictable.
And looks like he's not going to. There was a lot of people I talked to that thought it might actually even just be P.E.K.K.A in the back first play. But that's not what we're seeing here, with, especially with the Evo Ice Spirit.
Shades of Hog so far from Mohamed Light. And Royal Giant, something that LCIOP did run a lot during his qualifying stages in the CRCC to make this World Championship. Did not typically run it with the Ice Wiz, ran a different construction, but curious to see what he has in store for us here.
Monk ability going to drop down to deflect that Archer Queen ability. The Fisherman as well trying to lock onto a cannon. Roll Delivery dropping down. Interesting matchup so far. It's the standard Pigs Earthquake versus a Royal Giant Monk. That Monk is going to be very useful versus the Queen the entire match.
First minute away, and so far just a little bit of chip in both directions. You can see, look at the expressions on their faces, right? You see some deep breaths here. Even for two of the most experienced former world champions, you cannot replicate what it feels like when it's finally happening.
Pigs at the bridge. Does he have the fireball? He does. Wow, this is a great situation for LCIOP. A lot of the time you might see a lightning or maybe even an earthquake with Royal Giant, but that fireball is going to make it so Mohamed Light actually has to split his pigs and split his damage across the towers. Something
he's very good at traditionally, very good at early on, getting dual lane pressure and damage. We'll see if he gets that done here today. The Evo RG drops in the back as we go towards our double elixir time.
I talked to Mohamed Light and Riley and others, and they said LCIOP is a great player, but maybe his deck picking isn't up to par. But after seeing this, maybe he was, I don't know. I don't think that's true, because this is a great matchup for LCIOP.
And Pigs in, LCIOP back to 4, Fireball able to clear the log for the Evo Skeletons, and the RG doesn't get the damage LCIOP wants, gets a little bit in, but a fairly solid job by Mo to mitigate that damage despite the great play of LCIOP.
Royal Giant in the back yet again, and we know there's going to be another Monk in front of that to stop the Archer Queen. And it's really only going to get worse. Later in the match, we're going to see 2 Royal Giants on the board on each side, which is very difficult to deal with, especially when you don't have a solid tank in your deck.
EQ in early, and Mohamed Light maybe trying to figure out what's going to be the mathematics to get his damage in, and now we go aggressive. RG at the bridge, left-hand lane, switching sides. This one, though, getting handled by the cannon of the Archer Queen. Guard does get a couple of stabs.
Monk, same lane as the Queen yet again, and here comes the split bigs I was talking about. You have to choose which side to Fireball. Fireball on the right, Guards on the left. Will Mohamed Light get a second Archer Queen ability? Yes, he has it available, but he's not going to use it. LCIOP with the Monk ability to prevent.
Lead now for Mohamed in sudden death overtime, 24-62, top right-hand side of your screen, 23-88 on the bottom. Evo Ice Spirit plus cannon to hold against the Royal Giant.
Bigs right away. I really like this pressure while defending, forcing the fireball on defense, using the log as well. LCIOP knows that this game is very close, and wow, and the Ice Spirit doesn't jump.
Was that an overspend by LCIOP with the fireball and the log there? I know he wanted to mitigate all the damage, but you know, instead of a positive trade, now he had a negative one.
Yeah, and the Queen's still alive. He has to log, and here comes the Pigs. And watch out for those Evo Skeletons. He has to fireball, but look at the damage to the right-hand side.
And you saw he had to wait to make sure that the Evo Skeletons and the 2 Pigs were together. Pressure from Mohamed Light now giving him the lead with 1:08 left. Keep in mind that while LCIOP does have Fireball and Log, there's almost no way they're going into a spell cycle situation with his defensive needs.
And here comes the Pigs right away with the pre-log plus pre-quake on the guards, allowing for so much damage to come through with these piggies. LCIOP needs to bounce back with a double Royal Giant push if he's going to make this comeback.
Does he double up on that left-hand side, or does he go left-right here? We see the guards and the fishermen on the right-hand side. Evo Skellies, Ice Wiz plus log to clear. Evo RG still fairly healthy. Second Royal Giant right behind it. He needs to break through here. Can he do it?
The Monk is deflecting the Queen and the cannon. The Royal Giant is walking through. Log dropping down. Ice Spirit does get taken out. Evo Ice Spirit jumps. No, Evo Ice Spirit jumps, and that Royal Giant is locked down.
That cannon, the cycle of Mohamed Light. Picture perfect. Can he hold on? 11 more seconds. This is looking good for Mohamed Light. Cannon to hold. 6 seconds left. Fireball trying to clear. Royal Giant stuck by the cannon, and Mohamed Light wins game number 1. The loser here will face the loser of our next match between Lucas and Greco, and Drill for LCIOP.
And a P.E.K.K.A from Mo. This is the deck that Mo was expecting LCIOP to play. LCIOP really going completely different. And speaking of completely different, we see the Cannoneer Tower. Now that is really not a tower that I expected to see very often during this tournament just because it recently got nerfed, but it seems to be doing very well versus this P.E.K.K.A.
And it's Drill, Wall Breakers, the two Evos he's choosing as well. Doesn't get the connection courtesy of the Rage. A little funny here to see Mo and Jules talking about this deck all week. This is the deck they expect him to go game number 1, and then see them bring it out alongside our newest champion.
Here comes yet another drill. Next drill will be Evo. I love the placement, pulling everything backwards, allowing the Ghost to splash and connect on tower. Good Fisherman to prevent that second hit, though.
First blood, first significant blood drawn by Mohamed Light, but lead back now. Whoa, Royal Giant in here. This is a whole lot of fun.
The Royal Giant Gobsine ability is unnecessary. The Dark Goblin gets aired out. This Royal Giant extremely healthy on top of this tower. This tower is taking a beating.
The stun certainly mitigating some of that, but down to 1602. And now we'll see, can he make some headway in the opposite direction? One wall breaker pulled, one does connect. Bandit dashes in, guards to hold, but this is a lot of damage going the opposite way.
Wow, I mean, both players very light in the defense, very aggressive on the offense, and here comes the offense yet again, the Evo Goblin drill. What does Mo have to deal with this? The Rage is not what you're looking for.
Snowball in to slow the tower and get a little bit extra damage on there. Now Evo Wall Breakers with the action on the back. Wow. And no ability here, down to 220. Full connection, and Mohamed Light's in trouble in game 2.
And this is a deck LCIOP is known for, whether it be Cannon Card Bridge Spam with the Ram Rider or a Goblin Drill Bridge Spam. He knows how to keep that elixir and apply that pressure. The only question is, can Mo break through with this Evo P.E.K.K.A.?
So far, so good holding. Bandit dashes at a great time, takes both the P.E.K.K.A. and helps cover against the Doctor. Here we go, drill in, 195 remaining, Snowball down, 25 HP, 21, gets the stab. LCIOP has the tower down. Can he defend for 19 seconds?
Here comes the Goblin Stein and the Fisherman and the guards. The cannon does not pull. Evil Roll Giant is in cycle. Here comes the Goblin Stein ability. Roll Giant is distracted though by the cannon and the Goblin Drill. I think he's got this defense.
Oh my word. This is what you want. Champion versus champion. Trying to figure out what are they going to do next.
Yeah, let's find out right now as both players are reaching 10 elixir. We say a cage right away from Mo. Goblin Gang from LCIOP. Maybe the Mortar deck from LCIOP, and Mo, I know he likes to play Evo Cage even with cycle decks, so it's not guaranteed to be beat down here.
LCIOP did play some bait, of course, now that we see the Lightning Dragon, probably not the Electro Dragon, but for a moment, maybe. And Loon.
Wow. So he is going to disguise. And Mo, you are correct. We do see bait. Cage on the board here. The Cage is not really the building you want to have versus this Balloon. You'd much rather have a Tesla.
Shouldn't get a drop, but will get death damage as the Brawler goes and gives its punch the opposite direction. Mohamed Light with damage in both lanes. LCIOP chipping that right-hand tower. And
this, once again, is just so fascinating. LCIOP, just great deck picks. He has the Bar Barrel for the Goblin Barrel. He has the arrows for the Princess. He even has the Lava Hound to tank for that Balloon. What kind of air defense does Mo have for this last card? I mean, if he has a Rocket, that could help, but this is looking very grim for our 2022 champion.
Little Prince and Princess both getting ready to go to work, although the Princess walking away from the Lava Hound. Cage pulls to the middle, and she does retarget towards the Evo Electro Dragon. Barbed Barrel picked up by the Fire Spirit plus the Knight. Great protection by Mohamed Light.
Lava Pups are trying to take out this Little Prince. They are successful, but the Princess will help out, and here comes the Goblin Barrel on the counter push. The Knight is tanking. LCIOP not really playing much. These Goblins are doing so much damage.
Well, maybe some cycle issues there for LCIOP. You've seen him shaking his head a lot in this matchup, and I think that maybe he got his cycle to a position where he was not happy with his ability to defend.
Yeah, he was low in elixir as well, but at least he's up about 1 elixir here. He's able to get that lava. Mo Light decided to use the Princess aggressively to apply pressure opposite lane this time.
And you see him going with the gang to clear the Princess rather than a spell, making sure he's not going to get caught flat-footed by the incoming imminent Evo Barrel.
No Evo Electro Dragon cycle. That makes defense a lot easier. And here comes the Evo Barrel, like you said. Arrows dropping the wrong one. Real Goblins to the right doing massive damage, but now he has to defend.
Lava Hound in, Balloon in, pups all around. Mohamed Light's defense is absolutely Picture perfect.
Electro Dragon gets a couple shots, but he needs a lot more oomph in his push than that, and yet another Goblin Barrel.
Goes to the inside, easily read by LCIOP. And this has just been so well controlled. You were worried about the air defense, but Little Prince, Princess, Goblin Gang, and the MVP so far has been the Snowball.
Arrows dropping down the gang. Here comes the pre-snowball from MOHAMED Light, forcing out the Barbarian Barrel, but now he can out-cycle with this Princess, bait out those arrows, and get another Goblin Barrel down right away.
What does LCIOP have in store to try to battle back into this one? The margins are so thin. Has to cover the left-hand side. Right-hand side is a problem. The Knight touches, down to 59 HP. Princess on the left-hand side, nothing on the right-hand side. GG, well played. MOHAMED Light wins the first match of World Finals.